Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the P Show.
JP, it's so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
And Hardy, good morning. I just had to save the show there. My technical expertise. All right, it's Thursday. It's a big Thursday. There is a huge story going on. It is lead story on SportsCenter. Huge. Ben Simmons is coming back to Philadelphia. And he's not playing. Oh, my God.
And we're sending in the National Guard in case a fight breaks out in the stands or they're throwing stuff at Ben Simmons. God.
Nick Geddes from Outkick.com joining me this morning as we start with the farcical story of the day. Literally the lead story on ESPN. The dude's he's not mentally tough enough to play basketball tonight. Russell Westbrook, people are calling me names and they're saying I can't play and my kids are hearing this. I don't know if I can continue to play basketball. It's basketball. Send your kids home. Can we? What is going on in this world? It's crazy, but. You know what is I wanted to start with today? Besides that, Dickie V is cancer free. How about that? Friend of the show, listens to the show, been on the show. We love him dearly. The greatest voice in college basketball history, and hopefully we will hear that voice soon. As soon as he gets a little bit of rest, I say, it's 3 weeks away. Dickie V got to call the Final Four. Come on, man.
He has to.
Come on. I don't care whose contract is up or who's not doing the game, who should do the game. I don't even know who does the game anymore. College basketball is almost completely irrelevant except for Dickie V. I mean, that's something that should happen in this world. Should it not?
It should. He needs to breathe some life into the sport this year.
Oh, my God.
It needs it, I think.
Oh, it does. We're going to have David Zimroth on, my good friend who was assistant coach at Florida State and USF for many, many years, one of the great basketball minds and a local treasure. We'll come on and talk a little bit about the SEC tournament today. And I'm embarrassed to say this. I really am embarrassed to say this because at one point in my life, I was the hugest college basketball fan, just loved the game. I don't think I can name 10 college basketball players right now. That's horrible. And if I named 10 of them, 7 of them would probably play for Florida State. And 3 of them probably have already graduated and moved on.
Yeah.
I just, what is it about college basketball that just doesn't light my fire anymore? I think I've always thought it's because of the one and done, the players don't stay. Everybody transfers. It's so transient. You don't know. Every roster completely turns over from one year to the next. You never get a chance to grip onto a team. They don't get to have chemistry. I don't think the game is as good as it once was at all because they don't have 2 and 3 years to develop chemistry. It's just, I don't know.
It's really only this year for me. I was kind of into it last year. And before that, I was really into it before the pandemic ruined the 2020 tournament because that was FSU's best team, I thought.
I think that's what did it to me.
It might have been.
Yeah.
That was,
Dickie claimed them the national championship champions in his book. So we'll take that. It's like a UCF championship. We'll take it.
Put it on the stadium.
Maybe that was it. I'm just bitter from that. But when your teams aren't really doing well, it's your less interesting.
It does take you out of it when it's not a sport that you really have to have.
I think 3 years ago we had FSU, Florida. I think there were 4 or 5 Florida teams in the dance. Miami was in, FSU, Florida was in, all 3 of the biggies. Then I think Gulf Coast was in, and maybe UCF too.
UCF was 2019.
Yeah. So it was that was a great year. I was really interested. But now all the teams are down for the most part. Florida might sneak in. It's not resonating for me. But I love March Madness. I love watching the games. I love betting on the games. So I'll definitely we'll be into it. We'll fill out brackets, right? We'll do all that stuff.
Of course.
But but we'll talk with Coach D about how to fix college basketball. I have an easy fix for it. So, but again, they give me no power. That's the problem. If I had power, I could fix all these things like overnight with nothing, no plans whatsoever. Common sense, just common sense. We should do the show today and just like, here's a problem, here's a common sense fix.
Let's fix it
and just fix it. So we'll that will be kind of our focus today as we go through the day, whatever we can do. But shout out Dickie V. We love you, brother. And we're so glad you're cancer free. And we should start a movement on Twitter. Dickie V calls Final Four or something. Hashtag Dickie V Final Four. CBS always does it. So do they still have it? I don't even know.
I can't even keep track of who the announcers
Jim
are.
Nance and whoever.
is it
Seth
Kevin
Davis?
Kevin Harlan, one of those?
Kevin Harlan.
I don't even know
love
what
me some
network.
Kevin Harlan.
I don't know what network everybody's on now. They're all switching.
Z will know. So we'll do that. So Rob Higgins is going to join us at 10:15. He'll be mad at me for down. I'm not downing. I love tournament basketball. I would desperately want to go to the SEC tournament and see some games. I just love the feel of tournament basketball. All the different fans in the arena. I used to cover the ACC tournament when FSU was in there. Did a couple of years with Gene Deckerhoff. One year we called every game in the ACC tournament. How cool was that? A lot of work. But that was fun. Going to those ACC tournaments was tremendous, really fun. So Rob Higgins will join us. He is the grand poobah of the Tampa Sports Commission. They are the ones that brought the SEC tournament here. So we'll tell you how you can get involved. And if Kentucky loses, then you can literally walk up to Amalie Arena and get a ticket for $10. Probably.
Yeah, they'll be giving them away.
Yeah. So what would be good is if Kentucky loses and Florida continues to advance to the final. That would be the dream scenario in the SEC tournament, but that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I wouldn't bank on it.
I'm banking either one of those things happening. Also, our good friend Christopher Lugo will join us from Bay Area Modern Medical Center today. I've been wanting to get him on the show. He's got some very unique takes on your personal health, number one, our health system, number two, COVID, number three, and how important it is these days to be in good health. And we said all through COVID that, man, if you're I looked up the numbers yesterday and doing a spot for them. You know that 43% of people in America are considered obese. 43%. And being obese in that category made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized for COVID. Now, if that doesn't get you to stop going through the drive-through, I don't know what will. It's literally, it's not even about looking good anymore. It's about life and death. You got to be better. What?
Where do you think I went after I left here yesterday?
Right to McDonald's. Absolutely.
I didn't go to McDonald's. I upgraded a little bit. I went to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
There's the idea that Chick-fil-A is better for you.
It's fried food.
But it is fried food.
It's better. It's better. No question. It's better, but it's still fried.
Yeah.
Have a grilled nugget every once in a while. Mix it in.
I'm not having a grilled nugget. That's sacrilegious.
You're not grilled nugget?
No, I'm not having a grilled
They
nugget.
taste really good.
I'm sure they do.
When you put the sauce on them,
I'm sure they do, but no.
You got to have the fried.
Chick-fil-A has a smell to it.
Yeah,
and
I know.
I crave the
That's
smell.
not by accident, by the way.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, every time I walk by Publix with Tally on the way to the convention center to do our workouts, what do I get hit with? That fried chicken smell. You don't think they're pumping that thing out of the top of that Publix roof just to get everybody I run to Publix when I smell that. It's like Pavlov's dogs. If you've ever gone by a Publix and they're frying chicken, forget about it.
I'm out.
You're in. You're in.
I'm walking out with a 20-piece win every time.
Easy.
Every time.
Yeah, I was in there the other night, and lady was so nice. She's like, it was a little bit later in the night. She's like, we got fried chicken on sale. I'm like, you're the devil. I literally said that to her. I said, you're the devil. I smell it. I'm trying to stay away from it. You're the devil. She started laughing. She goes, I know you're going to get some. I'm like, you're right. You're absolutely right. 100%. All right. So that's the lineup today. Rob Higgins going to join us. Christopher Lugo will talk about how to avoid fried chicken at Publix. And David Zimroth will hit all the college basketball and get us some love for college basketball going again. All right. I wanted to start this morning with, of course, the Buccaneers. And we're going to get into the Lightning here in a little bit. We got some Rays stuff as well to talk about after our interview yesterday with Chris Palermo that I think rankled the Rays a little bit. But that's good. We want a reaction. So Wentz is off the market. Thank God. Thank God. Thank you, Commanders, for keeping any and all Wentz out of our Buccaneer home and mouths. We don't want any part of that. So he's off the market. He's you did, but nobody wants Carson. Well, look, it's an upgrade for Washington. I know we're going to take a step back, but go from Tom Brady to freaking Carson Wentz. My God. Talk about that's not good for your health. Good for my mental health. Can you think of a less inspiring move the Buccaneers can make? I would rather go with Kyle Trask than Carson Wentz. And I know Carson Wentz is a better quarterback than Kyle Trask. There's no question about that, 100%. But it's like walking into a room with 6-foot ceilings with Carson Wentz. That's your ceiling. That's as far as you're going. You got to bend down to get in there. It's not fun. It's not inspiring. It's nothing. It's not walking into a room with a huge entryway, escape. It's 6 miles high. It's just beautiful. Those big, great buildings you go into. Yeah. But Carson Wentz would be like going into the season in a 6-foot cell.
Being a supporter of him is like being a Jameis Winston supporter. Yeah. When he was here with the Bucs, it's like you're on an island and you're going to do everything you can to defend him. Yeah. And maybe I'll rip the Band-Aid off one day, but
I mean, look, the fact that the dude's making $28 million a year. How about the Eagles will not even get to use that pick before he's traded? He's already traded to Washington. Yeah. Like the Eagles are sitting pretty. Not only did they get the pick for him, right? The picks, but now they get to play against him 2 times a year. I mean, that's even better for them. Yeah. And what a home run.
Yeah. And that's an actual game that 2 times on the schedule, and he gets to play against Indianapolis. So
yeah, there you go.
Sets up right perfectly there.
So good for Carson Wentz. We'll see how it goes. And Washington has, they've got a decent roster. They got a legit number 1 in Terry McLaurin. They can run the football, as we've seen. Mm-hmm. I mean, if the great Taylor Heineke can win games, Wentz has got a shot. And in that division,
he's the second best quarterback in the division now.
I mean, that division, I think that brings them on par with the Cowboys. The Cowboys got a better roster, but they're still the Cowboys. And they're going to choke all over it. And Jerry will find a way to destroy this team. Yeah. Why does nobody talk about that narrative anymore?
Which narrative?
That they haven't won a Super Bowl since '95 because Jerry Jones is the GM.
I think that's become the narrative lately.
It was a narrative for a very long time. And then it just kind of, everybody loves Jerry, so we don't talk about it anymore on Fox because everybody loves Jerry. Yeah, but he's very powerful. You can't say anything bad about him. But hey, you know what?
He's in hot water right now.
He ain't helping me. So
you see that crazy story yesterday?
Well, no. What happened?
Of course he did. He's trying to bury it, I think, already. Yeah. But somebody claiming that he's his biological, that she's his biological daughter. Yeah. And that the woman,
there's probably a bunch of those running around.
Yeah. And I guess he paid off the woman to keep it confidential.
And sure.
She's coming out, and it's a whole legal hoopla right now. So,
all right.
He's got other things to deal with, I think.
That'll cost him. So, yeah, the Cowboys, whatever, good for them. Him coming to the Washington, does that tip the scales in the NFC for Washington? No, nobody cares. So, where do the Bucs look? And it's Deshaun Watson. It's Deshaun Watson. That's where the focus goes now. He will have a hearing tomorrow that may clear up some of this legal mess. I guess the grand jury is going to come out and render their decision on the criminal matter. And frankly, if the criminal matter goes away, which the whole thing is completely bizarre, we won't get into the details of it. We've talked about it for 2 years now. If those criminal complaints go away, I think obviously there's a window to get him back into the league. And now the other part about it is he's going to be fierce competition once he's somewhat clear. Now, still the league has to discipline him. And what is that discipline going to be? And what is it going to be based on? If they decide, the criminal counts go away, how can they suspend him? What has the NFL investigation told us? They did an investigation of their own. We know nothing about that. So much of this is just completely weird. And these women came out of nowhere, just all of a sudden at one time, there's 22 of them. They're all represented by the same attorney who happened to live in the same neighborhood as the ownership group of the Houston Texans. Come on. It's just, again, you can't make this stuff up. So, and where is the Buccaneers organization in terms of signing off on this? And that a lot of that depends on the facts of the case, to be quite honest. If a lot of this is just, if it's consensual sex and there's some gray area here. Let's be honest with this, folks. We keep it real here. There's some gray area. Not all massage therapists are simply massage therapists. This just in. So, where's the gray area on this? And I don't mean to diminish these women's claims at all. But we don't know the facts of the case. All we know for sure is what we've known about Deshaun Watson his entire life, that he has always been of the highest character. At least that was our perception. And I know things can happen behind closed doors. We know that. But everything we've seen in public from this man says he is of the highest character. He's a tremendous leader. He is a fantastic quarterback. All those things comes from a great program at Clemson. These are the things we know as facts. The other stuff is just plain murky, to be quite honest. So I'm not, as I've said from the very beginning on this, I'm not going to crush the guy until we know the facts. And right now we don't have a lot of facts. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Rob Higgins is going to join us from the Tampa Sports Commission. He's got the SEC tournament in town, some big events on the way, and maybe a couple in the pipeline that we'll find out about. So stay with us. Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo, his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defect, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636 or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com. Homeowners, listen up. Property value. Mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fee like the banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back as we continue on here. The SEC tournament is in town. The JP Peterson Show, by the way, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. If you have any stucco damage, that is his specialty. Just go to PalermoPA.com. That's the website. Get in touch with him. Get a free consultation. If you got any cracks in the side of your house, he is the expert. He will take care of that and get the money that you are deserving. All right, let's talk some basketball with our good friend Rob Higgins, who is the executive director of the Tampa Sports Commission and brings all these great events to Tampa Bay. What's up, Rob? How are you, my friend?
Good. How's it going, JP?
Great. The start of the tournament last night, Vanderbilt in Georgia. Scottie Pippen was in the house last night to watch his son play. How was the atmosphere last night?
It was good. I mean, I think it really is going to continue to build throughout the week. But certainly last night was a great start, and we're looking forward to 4 great games today as well.
What do we got? The Gators at noon today. What's the lineup?
Yeah, Gators and A&M at noon, and then Missouri LSU at 2. That'll be for the first session today, and then the second session is at 6. It starts at 6 o'clock, and it's Mississippi State against South Carolina, and then Vandy against Bama.
Vandy against Bama. When does Big Blue invade? Tomorrow, Kentucky?
They play the winner of that game tomorrow night. So the Vandy Bama winner will take on Big Blue Nation. But certainly we've already started to see some of their fans roll in the last few days. And all top 4 seeds will play tomorrow with not only Kentucky, but also Auburn. Tennessee.
Yeah, Auburn was ranked number 1 for a time this year, and actually has already played in the building there as they played USF earlier this year. I was at that game, and Bruce Pearl's voice is still ringing in my ears. The man, he's worth the price of admission just to watch him coach. What a great guy. I love that guy. There's some star power in this tournament, not only the players, but with the coaches, etc. Just talk a little bit about what people will experience when they head on out there.
Well, I think people immediately think of the SEC as a football conference, and naturally they've obviously had a ton of success on that front, but they have put a tremendous amount of emphasis and resources into building up basketball. Commissioner Greg Sankey has done a fantastic job, and I think we're really seeing that pay dividends in a really unique and powerful way this week. 7 of the 14 teams in the league, so half of the league, has been ranked in the top 25 this year, and then they've got some really legitimate national title contenders at the top half of the league. And so it's a pretty special week, and I think we're destined for some awesome matchups and some really great basketball.
What do you think the economic impact is going to be this week with roughly 20,000 Kentucky fans here in town, probably looking for tickets as long as they continue to advance? And, Auburn travels well. The Gators will have a huge contingent here as well, but those people probably aren't staying overnight. But these other schools will bring a lot of heads in beds, so to speak. What are the projections?
Well, you referenced 20,000. You actually in my head that the number that we expect is 20,000 hotel visit room nights.
Nice.
And so if you've got that many people staying overnight, certainly they're spending money not only in the hotels, but in our restaurants and shops. And we've been seeing them trickle in the last few days. I think what you've got is, a great destination. Nashville is a regular host of the event. And I think fans really appreciate that. But then to have an out year like this one, where they can come to a different destination and enjoy everything that we have to offer, it's pretty special. We haven't had the opportunity to host since 2009. As you know, our community is transformed in the last 13 years. So we're already hearing great feedback from the SEC fans that are already here. We look forward to welcoming a lot more of them over these next few days, and we want to make sure they have a great stay in our hometown.
Rob Higgins joining us here. He is the executive director of the Tampa Sports Commission and brings these events here. Going to the game, USF game, it strikes me what a great basketball venue Amalie Arena is. It's a great venue for anything, but I think it's a particularly good basketball arena because of the sight lines. The upper deck is very close to the court. At least from the other stadiums that I've been into, it feels that way. Obviously we've had some other NCAA tournaments lined up and other things coming. But what is the thirst for bringing basketball here? Are there any, when you reach out to the SEC or the ACC or other, the NCAAs, what is the feedback that you get from them about Tampa Bay as a basketball market?
I think it's been really positive. I mean, you look at our history just over the last, 25 years, whether it's hosted men's Final Four. Obviously, that was at the Trop, but then we've had regional rounds, first and second rounds at 2003. We've had them in 2008, 2011. We were supposed to have 2020 of March Madness, but got canceled with the pandemic. And then now we've got 2026. And then, certainly on the women's basketball front, we've got our fourth women's Final Four coming in 2025.
Oh, nice.
You don't get those events without a lot of positive feedback and credibility around basketball. I think, the fact we were able to host an entire NBA regular season last year with the Raptors too also speaks volumes to the basketball, situation we have with Amalie Arena. So I think it's really positive. I think hopefully with any luck, the experience that everybody has this week will continue to propel us to future postseason basketball events as well.
Rob, we used to, when I was on some games in Florida State, we used to do the Milk Challenge, and it was in Orlando. We had Florida State, USF, and UCF, I think. That's something I think that would really appeal to fans. Is that something you guys would like to put together? I think it would be a tremendous success here in this area. Or is there anything going on like that now? I don't think there is, but it seems you bring some of these powers. You could throw Miami in there if you want. I mean, there's a lot of state schools I think that would definitely bring a good contingent of fans.
Yeah, I mean, certainly we're continuing to look and evaluate potential events that could make sense here. College basketball has been a big part of the discussion. The nearest event of that nature I could think of is over Thanksgiving weekend with the ESPN event team does it over at Disney. But we always want to make sure every event we do is right sized and makes a tremendous amount of sense. The other thing that you got to keep in mind with events specific to Amalie Arena is we've got a team in the Lightning that we want to make sure their home schedule maintains integrity and they're not on the road for multiple times, several weeks at a time. And so you're part of the challenge is when you are hosting other events and things coming up in the future that are already on the calendar. It's hard to find windows to source new events. So certainly it's part of the process, and we want college basketball to be a big part of the fabric of the sports community here, and we'll look to try to find creative ways to do that.
What are you mentioned some of the other events coming up? We got a Frozen Four coming up as well. What are the other events coming up soon?
Well, we've got the U.S. Gymnastics National Championships coming in August. We haven't had gymnastics in quite some time, so we're looking forward to it. And it happens at a really neat period of time of year, with it being in August. About 30,000 people come out to that one. You mentioned Frozen Four. We're a year out basically from hosting it, which that'll be our third men's Frozen Four. That's an event that's done really well here. So naturally, we're excited about it. In 2025, we've got the women's Final Four coming back. No communities ever welcomed more women's Final Four fans than us. So that's another one that's going to do really well here. And then March Madness is coming back in 26. So a lot of great things on the docket. We're always looking for other events to bring here as well. But naturally, the focus this week is making sure the SEC men's basketball tournament goes off without a hitch, and it's really smooth.
Higgins joining us here from the Tampa Sports Commission. While I got you, I mean, you probably know more about economic impact in sports than anybody I know, certainly. And I talk a lot about the economic impact of sports, and also what it would mean for Tampa and downtown Tampa, Ybor City, to bring a raised baseball stadium there. I've got a lot of these academic folks on Twitter that constantly beat me up about that's not real economic impact. That money would be spent in other places in the county. So you're just shifting money from here to here. It really is a net drain on the city, and it's not worth building these stadiums. Maybe I've that act right, but I don't believe that. The studies I've seen, I saw what happened in Atlanta. I saw what happened in Houston. You see what happened in Washington. You see what happened in Colorado. When these baseball stadiums are built, they completely transform the area in which they are, except for maybe Tropicana Field. And that's a population issue. So when people come at me like that, what's my best answer for that in terms of economic impact for something that's maybe more permanent than the events that you do?
Well, I tell you, I could really only speak to the events that we do. I mean, that's right. our source, because we try to spend a lot of time really researching them and understanding after they happen and as they're unfolding, what the true impact are, because we want to know what the return on investment is, and we want to be able to understand, is this an event that we really want to pursue in the future, or do we need to be looking at something that will do even well for our economy? So we look at a couple different factors. First is the hotel visitation. I mentioned a minute ago about the 20,000 hotel visitor room nights with the SEC tournament. We know if somebody is staying in a hotel room, which we can audit and be able to evaluate and work with the hotels to determine the exact number of nights. We know if somebody's staying in the hotel room, then they're probably spending money in the community as well. You don't just come here and not eat or shop or do any of those things. And then we work with the airport to understand the number of people that come into the community as a result of that event. Because if they're using an airline seat, we know that they're also coming in here and probably dropping some of their coin as well.
Right.
The last thing we also work on is from a media value standpoint, and we're able to actually track the number of mentions that happen, the amount of time, the sources, all of those different things. So, I mean, you look at an event just like the Super Bowl, which we just hosted this past year, and certainly it was a reduced capacity. It was not the number of parties that you would traditionally see, but the hotel revenue alone was more than $25 million. It was $25 million greater than the same period of time throughout the pandemic. So, I mean, that's just one snapshot, and those are real dollars. It's not a projection. It's not a calculation. It's not comments for no reason. So we try to really take a hard look at every event to see how it does here. So when you then multiply it to answer your question, then you multiply it across several games and a regular season and all that, it takes it to, a level that certainly is tremendous. Again, our focus is specifically on the events that we host, but we'll leave the regular season games and the facilities to people a lot smarter than us. But I can tell you the impact of sports is tremendous, and it's a big part of the economy here locally, and hopefully it will be for many years to come.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on all those points. Lastly, if folks want to go to the SEC tournament, are there still tickets available? Secondary market? What would you suggest they do?
Yeah, we have a limited number of individual session tickets still available. If you log on to secsports.com, that's the best place to buy them. But we're winding down and really expect a packed house here throughout the stretch of the tournament, especially as you get to the weekend and the top 4 seeds and their fans arrive. So if you want to come check out a game, we obviously love to have you. You log on to secsports.com and you can see which tickets are still remaining for which sessions.
All right. Sounds good, Rob. Great information, man. Really appreciate your time, and really appreciate what you and Claire and everybody do over there and your staff and bringing these great events to Tampa Bay. It makes this area what it is, the best sports market in America. So we really appreciate all the work you guys do. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks for your support, JP.
All right, man. So we'll see you. It's if you've not been to a basketball tournament, it's such a great vibe. It's such a great vibe. If your team's doing well, it's even better. So head on out there. They got some tickets left. And as I said, if Kentucky loses, they will be hoisted onto the secondary market like nobody's business. I don't know if they don't do paper tickets anymore for the most part. I don't even think they accept paper tickets at Amalie anymore. But whatever, there's got to be some way for those Kentucky fans to transfer their tickets if they lose. So keep your eye on it and see if you can pick up some tickets if you're not doing anything this weekend. It's a great way to spend the weekend. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, I want to get into the Bucs quarterback situation a little bit more. What are the prospects of Deshaun Watson coming here, or is this going to be a Trask Gabbert party? And is there any more Brady talk? Have we any water bottles or TB12? Any other clues that we can? Any more posts We'll get into everything when we come back. Stay with us. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course at Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth wow the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com.
Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now, so go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. JP here for my friend, attorney Christopher Palermo. If you are having issues with a claim on your homeowner's insurance from a sinkhole, storm damage, water intrusion, defective stucco, and construction defects, or any other issue, Christopher is your man. These big insurance companies didn't get rich paying out what you deserve. Chris founded his practice in 2009 with a passion to help all Floridians with disputes where they were forced to take on the powerful and needed a champion in their corner. Chris wants to make sure you will receive the most aggressive and compassionate representations. He has recovered millions in settlements on behalf of his clients facing defective stucco damage and other construction issues. So call Chris, mention the JP Show, and he will give you a free consultation. That's 813-221-5636. Or go to PalermoPA.com. He's a fifth-generation Tampanian, graduate of Jesuit High School and the University of Florida, and he cares deeply about you and the community. That's 221-5636 or PalermoPA.com.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's rock.
This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. Have you bought a home that was built in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from that upstairs portion of your house? That can cause serious damage. You can't see it until it's too late, folks, and it's probably becoming an eyesore. And you probably contacted the builder, even though it was 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, right? Well, it's very, very common here in Florida. It happens all the time. And homeowners don't know that they have recourse here. Call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. 813-221-5636. 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients over the years. So don't think you don't have recourse. Just maybe you called the builder. Maybe you don't even know who the builder is. You have recourse. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo, 813-221-5636, or go to PalermoPA.com. All right. Wanted to get a little bit more into the situation with the Buccaneers now as Deshaun Watson will go through his grand jury, I guess, testimony, or find out grand jury what's going on tomorrow. So I guess there'll be a little bit more clarity into his situation. We still don't know what the NFL is going to do. Peter King has written in his column that one GM told him that he does not expect Deshaun Watson to play again this year. I find that hard to believe. A top 5 quarterback in this league for the second year going to sit on the bench and not play?
No, I can't buy it for 1 second. And the way the NFL is, the way the owners feel, the way the league office feels, and this is a business of if you're good enough, you're going to get every pass. For better or worse, by the way. That's just how the world works. We know that. It's no different in the NFL. So I would expect Deshaun Watson, he's going to get something from the NFL, I think, regardless.
Of course.
They have to get, even if it's like 4, 6 games, he's getting something. So I would expect that regardless of what happens in these trials.
Yeah, I mean, somebody on Twitter, I forget who it was beating me up on this, trying to pretend like well, Jameis Winston got suspended for what he did. The NFL does care about sexual abuse and women's rights. And I mean, come on. The whole Dan Snyder thing, I mean, the dude literally did whatever he wanted with cheerleaders and everything else with his clients. I mean, and that was just a part of the investigation that we found out from. We didn't find out anything from the NFL because they didn't make it public. It's a joke.
Until the NFL hands the same suspension to a player for anything like that, like they just did with Calvin Ridley for betting on 3 games or whatever. Yeah, you can come talk to me about how the NFL feels about women. Yeah, and by the way, and this is kind of my litmus test. The NFL put together this commission advisory board of women, prominent women and business women, to advise them on how they should handle these issues. And within like 2 years, they all quit. They're like, what are you doing here? They're not listening to us. This is a joke. I got better things to do. And so look, they'll do a lot of virtue signaling about this, but they're not going to. I just can't see them keeping a quarterback, a top 5 quarterback, when there's so many teams that need quarterbacks in big markets where Deshaun Watson could make a huge difference. I just follow the money. Eventually, he's going to play. He's going to play. Yeah. He's going to play. And I think a lot of people may be forgetting. I don't know if people are forgetting about his talent, but there's this young wave of quarterback that we know about: Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray. For my money, I don't know about you, but taking everything out of the play, just focusing on the play on the field, I think Deshaun Watson, I'd probably have him over all those guys at this moment. And I'd even go as far to say
100%.
I go even as far to say Burrow, even though he just went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to understand. This guy is a top 5 quarterback. He's probably in that.
No
he
question.
would probably be in the same breath of Josh Allen if he hadn't missed this year. That's where he'd be.
I think we did a poll about a couple months ago about to Buccaneers fans about would you accept Deshaun Watson? Would you have any issues with him coming here? And I think it was almost 80% were like, no, do not care or care very little. So I don't think the fans really care about this issue. I don't think they do. Either because of the way the whole thing has been presented with the civil suits, because of what we know about Deshaun Watson, because we don't know a lot about the facts of the case. Yeah, I just don't think a lot of people see this as, like Ray Rice. You saw the video. There's other instances where we have video and there's facts in the case. There's a lot of different things. This is completely murky.
Yeah, and I don't want to take away from like women's testimonies.
No, not at all.
Because this has always contributed to why women feel like they can't come out because they get this 100%. Kind of reaction. 100%. So I don't want to downplay that at all, because that's honestly that's probably one of the problems in this country. Unless we see it, we think it didn't happen or we have a different view. I understand that, but the lack of any concrete evidence in this case is to me is damning. And just going off of who we know Deshaun Watson to be in the public eye, like you mentioned earlier, it's one of those things. It's hard to believe. It just is.
Yeah. So I think eventually this legal situation is going to work itself out, and I think it's going to happen in the next few months. And I think he's going to be playing. I think there will be a suspension, and that will probably be determined by what these facts are that come out. Yep. So I think there's a lot to be said, but this is a long-term deal for whoever takes this on. And if it's the Buccaneers, I'm willing, if I'm Jason Light, to give up 3 first-round picks and maybe a couple of players to get Deshaun Watson. I think it's that important. He's in the prime of his career. He's a top 5 quarterback. It's going to hamper you in getting other players. But the way this league is going right now, you have to have a quarterback. And we don't have a top flight quarterback. We don't. And everything else is a guess. Gabbert's a guess. Kyle Trask is a guess. And there's an 85% chance that neither one of those guys are going to be top 5 quarterbacks. Probably a 95% chance that neither one of those guys are going to turn into a top 5 quarterback. Mm-hmm. So, you can have all the first round picks that you want. You can have all the good corners you want, the good linebackers you want, the good offensive linemen you want. If you don't have a quarterback that's in the top 5, 10 of this league, you ain't got squat, because that's the way the league is right now. It's a passing league.
You don't have to be great at every position.
You don't. Not when you got a quarterback like that.
The Bengals just proved it.
Exactly.
One of the worst O-lines I've ever seen in my life, and their quarterback still almost pulled it off for them.
Right.
That's where the league's going. And if you want to debate the Bucs, they have some big holes in their roster. And I said concerning the trade for Russell Wilson, I want to see what the other piece is. What else we bringing back before I commit to that? I started thinking about it. Like you said, this is a quarterback league, and whoever gets the quarterback in the trade is winning it. And I looked at the Bucs' history, by the way. You look at the current roster. Has Jason hit on his first-round picks lately? Absolutely.
Especially since Bruce Arians and his staff have gotten here.
He has. But guess what? You can go down and you can go up and down the lineup. A lot of the second-round and third-round picks are the guys who are starting at most of these positions.
That's right.
They have hit a slam dunk on those.
Yeah.
So you have to trust, I think, in that case, the front office, that Jason he's going to be here for a long time, and they can find guys to plug into there.
Right.
They've been doing it for years. So, yeah, I'd absolutely 3 first-round picks, throw another, premier young player, take it. Yeah. I have no problem with it now.
I keep throwing Devin White out there because I love Devin White. He's great dude. But he's one of those guys that I think his play is not up to his notoriety, especially last year. Easily. A really bad year. And but some people would, I think other teams would see him as a piece, a valuable piece, especially as a 5th overall pick.
The thing that does make him tough is he is the leader of the defense.
Yep.
And you're going to, even when I say Devin White, I don't think he's as special as he's hyped up to be. When you take one of him or you take one of Levante David out of the lineup, there is a noticeable dip.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it. But middle linebacker is a
more
position.
Levante than
Devin. But middle linebacker is a position. I know, usually you don't take those at 5, right?
No.
Devin White, I think, worked out at first, but right now it's not a good trend. So if they had to move him, so be it.
To get Deshaun Watson, no question about it. I just think this is an all-in proposition for the Buccaneers right now. Otherwise, you're just an also-ran. You're going to win games, but you're not. You're just, it's weird. The expectations have changed. They really have. And I think, and we talked about this a little bit yesterday, and we could expound upon it. In this game right now, the way the rules are, all right, you can't touch the quarterback, all right? Mm-hmm. You can't hit anybody over the middle. So the middle of the field has become, a great area to work in. So you have the whole field to work with, all right? So my point being is if you have an accurate passer and great receivers, you got a 100-yard field, 53 yards wide, where they need about 1.5 yards of separation to be for a quarterback who's not under pressure to get them the ball. And that's what this league has become now. It's flag football. They're not running the football. As you mentioned yesterday, it's a waste of time with the way the rules are now. You're not running the football. So if you have a quarterback that can do that and good receivers, you don't need great offensive linemen. You don't need you get a really good tight end that can work the middle of the field, 2 guys on the outside that can stretch the field and also work the middle of the field. You get a running back that's not coverable out of the backfield. You're getting the ball off in 2.5 seconds anyway. Even the best pass rushing team in the league ain't going to get there. Mm-hmm. So it becomes this, got to have an accurate quarterback. That's the most important thing in this league right now. That's why Brady is still playing at so high level at the age of 44, because he can do that. And you just max protect him. You don't need 6 guys in the route every single time, 5 guys in the route every single time. You don't. So this is what this game has become. And it's put this premium on these guys that can deliver the ball on time, accurately, with anticipation. If you could do that, if you have 6 guys covering 2 or 3, it doesn't matter. You're still going to win because you got 3. You don't have to complete every pass either. Mm-hmm. You got 3 chances every down to get a 10-yard pass. I mean, this is what the game has become. So I don't give a shit about these 3 first-round picks. That's why the Rams don't give a shit about their picks. You got to get that guy. And right now, that guy is Deshaun Watson. I don't see anybody else out there.
Not at this moment. You can I'll sit up here and defend Jimmy Garoppolo. You can argue he doesn't fit the offense at all.
He's not an accurate passer consistently and does not make good decisions, does not throw with anticipation.
His numbers say otherwise.
Those numbers in that Kyle Shanahan offense are a lot of screen passes. There are a lot of tunnel screens. There are 4-yard outs. You go look at his numbers throwing the ball down the field consistently, and that's where he gets in trouble. He's not that guy. He's not a good deep ball thrower. This is why Russell Wilson is such a commodity, because he's such an accurate passer, and he could do it on multiple platforms. That's why he's always going to be a great quarterback. Lamar Jackson is the greatest athlete I've ever seen, but until he gets way more accurate, he's not going to be that guy. You got to be able to make that throw in a tight window in the red zone, because that's where games are won and lost.
Yeah, and you could look at right now the market for these quarterbacks at the trade. We talked about Carson Wentz earlier. You would agree, most people are probably going to agree, that was outrageous what the Commanders gave up to get him. Some people will say that.
But again, he's an upgrade on what they have.
Exactly. And who has the quarterback and who doesn't now?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
And by the way, the price that they paid, the Broncos did for Russell Wilson, the price that the Commanders paid for Carson Wentz, who a lot of people have soured on, that just shows you that you're speaking to this year, the draft class, people are not sold on that, clearly.
No.
The free agent class of these cast-offs, Jameis Winston, Mariota, people are not sold. I mean, you're throwing out big capital to get Carson Wentz now. Right. And they're probably going to do the same for Jimmy Garoppolo, because you don't want to be left in the dust. So that's why when all these trades happen, everybody concentrates on these picks, and I tie it to the Deshaun Watson because I say the Bucs should do it. Who has the quarterback and who doesn't? Yeah. If you look around the league right now, and I said that if they have to roll with Kyle Trask and we see it, so be it. I'm fine with that. Just know that the Bucs are going to be in the bottom 5 of quarterbacks in the NFL, and that's not where you want to be.
And this is why we started this conversation yesterday. And I actually talked to a couple of people last night about this, and it's a radical thing. I understand. But what can the NFL do to make the quarterback less important. And I know that sounds crazy, but it doesn't, because we're in the situation right now where you have the haves and the have-nots. And again, this is a hard thing to do. There's not many guys on the planet that can throw the ball like that and have the mental capacity to know where to throw it with anticipation, and all those things that Brady has mastered. I mean, watching Brady up close for 2 years, this has really become a concept that has been solidified in my head. Accuracy, velocity, anticipation. Mm-hmm. That's what quarterbacking is all about. You can talk all you want about the mobility and blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. Look at the guys who win. If you have both Mahomes, Josh Allen, then you got the premier guy in the league. Now you got the guy that is going to be there Russell Wilson, going to be there every single year in the playoffs. But they're hard to find, and we've diminished running backs, we've diminished offensive linemen, we've diminished linebackers, we've diminished edge rushers. It's like all these other positions are almost completely irrelevant now, because we've made it so easy. You can't touch the receiver. You can't hit the receiver. You can't touch the quarterback. You can't touch it. Can we roll that back and make it more important to play defense and to run the football, bring all these other players back into the game, and make having a good roster enough to win a Super Bowl? Because I don't think Trent Dilfer of the world are going to win another Super Bowl.
No, I hear what you're saying, but I think that the NFL has already taken it to a point where there's no going back. That's my thing. I think society has changed for whatever reason. Younger kids.
I blame you.
You can blame me. Whatever you want.
I blame the video game generation.
You can, whatever.
For everything.
I can take it, but I think they favor the offense. They see it was way more entertaining.
Can we put history lessons like on the video games? Like, in order to play 100 games in a row, there has to be a 4-minute break to tell you about what a great president Ronald Reagan is. Why America's. Can we do that? I digress.
Take that out of my video. Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, I mean, it's not just in the NFL. You can look at it. Every sport has done this. The NHL is all about getting offense back in the game now,
right?
Because there was a down period in the mid 2000s where it was so goaltender defense, and now it's popular with the speed. The NBA has done the same thing with the 3-point shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And trust me, it irritates
me. To the
me.
detriment of the game.
To the detriment of the game. I agree with you.
Baseball is now all focused on home runs to the detriment of the game.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Again, I blame the video game generation. You brought all this upon us.
Don't blame the kids.
You got to have an X button for everything. What is an X button, by the way?
They're the ones who gave it to us. They're the ones who gave it to us.
That's true. 100%. We're the ones who let you play all day long. Not my kids.
They're the ones who told us that Michael Vick was the greatest thing since sliced bread because he could run around in Madden 04. Okay.
We finally figured out where the downfall of society has come from.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I kind of liken it to like the point guard in the NBA. Who's the point guards right now that are popping up the map? Ja Morant is the big one right now. Everybody loves themselves some Ja Morant. Yeah. And those hyper athletic point guards.
Russell Wilson.
Except Russell. Or Westbrook, you mean?
Russell, yeah.
Westbrook. Can't say that. Can't say that. Sorry.
You can't?
No.
Oh, that's right. Because he's mentally fragile.
Fragile. But to my point there, the only real point guard left in the game really is Chris Paul.
Yeah.
And I liken him to like that Tom Brady that's been going out of style, but
you don't think Ben Simmons is a prototypical point guard?
To a detriment. He's too far. He's too far of a retro.
I'm not allowed to shoot.
Yeah, he's just to his detriment. But yeah, I think those are the similarities right there. The point guard and the quarterback position has shifted so much in both sports, and maybe to the detriment of both leagues.
Yeah,
you can make that argument. I
think without question. And you say you can't roll it back. I think you can roll it back. The NFL is constantly tweaking things, and I think it's time they take a hard look at it. A lot of it has to do with player safety in terms of being able to hit receivers over the middle, etc. I'm not here to advocate that we need more violence in hitting over the middle. That's not necessarily my thing here, because those hits are ridiculously violent and they do need to be taken out of the game. But is there something else we can do to bring running the football back into the game, make it a more balanced game and not just about these quarterbacks?
Well, here's the thing. The NFL is making more money than it ever has.
Yeah, but doesn't have to do with because you have quarterbacks throwing the ball for 400 yards. I don't believe that. The NFL is always going to be popular.
The quarterback, though, has become the main star of the show everywhere.
Yeah, that's my point, to the detriment. We need more stars. We need star running backs. We need star linebackers. We need star edge rushers. And I know we do have them, but I just think that it's trending more and more. It's like the haves and the have-nots. If you don't have a quarterback, why even line it up? Why even line it up? It's not, if the Patriots are going to try to, bring back the old play defense, Tony Dungy, fundamental football, don't take chances on offense, don't make mistakes. And and that doesn't sound super exciting to people, but hell, the Bucs won and filled the stadium for seven years with that philosophy. It was exciting to me to watch Mike Allstott just bludgeon people.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you on that point by any means. I'm just saying I think society has changed and they've conditioned my generation, I guess if you want to call it.
That has to be a video game type thing, or we're not interested.
Well, listen, I'll tell you right now, as an avid Madden player,
shallow children.
As a Madden player myself, I don't run the football. I run it just to fill a quota.
Quota. Maybe we got to have a quota.
Yeah, that's it.
You got to run the football a certain amount of times every game.
I'll keep throwing it. That's throwing pretty picks on picks, but I'll keep throwing it.
You might have something there.
Yeah, I think I am on it. See, we said, what was the theme of today's show? We're fixing things.
That's an easy fix too. But then what happens if you get behind? Well, you have a sliding scale. If you're down by 14 points, if you're down by 14 to 15 points, or some demarcation there, then the running quota is suspended. Fair?
That's fair.
Fair?
That's fair.
Yeah. We got a lot, and we're just thinking of splitting these things out there, but I think that's an interesting take. I was thinking more of positionally, you can't have 6 in the box. You can only have 6 in the box. So that would, make it more viable to run the football. But then just like this no ship thing that baseball is going to go to, how do you implement it? How do you enforce it? It gets a little weird. But the running quota thing is interesting. It's really interesting. Wow. Okay. All right. See what we're doing here? We're fixing things. We're going to fix college basketball today with David Zimroth at 11:30. We're going to fix your health at 11:15 with Chris Lugo from Bay Area Modern Medical Center. So we're fixing everything. We fixed the Bucs quarterback situation. We gave up 3 picks and Devin White. Are we throwing in anything else?
God, can we fix the MLB? We can negotiation table.
Yes, let's do that next.
My God.
Yes, that's an easy fix. Easy fix for MLB. My goodness. But common sense has left the arena. All right, we'll take a break and we'll come back and fix some more things. We fix football with a quota for running the football. That brings up so many interesting ideas and stuff. Wow. All right, back in moments. Stay with us. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course in Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. Wow, the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com. Well, it's never been more important to support each other and support local businesses like Italiano Insurance that has been around for over 60 years, serving our community with great customer service and also giving back to our locals in need. Their Metropolitan Ministries Holiday Food Drive was another tremendous success this year. Why call a 1-800 number when you can call your trusted neighbors at Italiano Insurance who will save you money? In Boca Grande, 941-964-0400. That's 941-964-0400. Cryptocurrency is all the rage today. The market cap for the industry is now over $1 trillion. And you read about people making millions of dollars, right? You want to get in? but have no idea what to do? Or maybe you dabbled a bit and you want to unlock the real money-making opportunities and don't know how to do it. There are over 10,000 tokens and thousands of decentralized finance exchanges to navigate. So what do? You go to DeFiLava.com. The folks at DeFiLava.com are in Tampa Bay, and they work with you directly to set up custom accounts, answer all your questions, and provide market analysis. Decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are here to stay and will change the financial markets as we know them. Get in the game. Get with the expert at DeFiLava.com and tell them JP sent you and get their free 2022 crypto market forecast today at DeFiLava.com. Don't get left behind, folks. Make some money at DeFiLava.com.
Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, presented by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. Our second hour is brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Christopher Lugo and his tremendous team over there. We'll hear from him in just a few minutes, by the way. He'll be joining us for the first time. We'll talk about your health. So if you have any questions, you can always hit us up at FanStreamJP or at Nick Geddes News, and we will forward those on to the doctor, and he'll answer those for you. They're a very different kind of approach to primary care, personalized preventative medicine. They are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. So if you're tired of being tired and run down and overweight, you get on the program at Bay Area Modern Medical Center. They will get you right, and we'll hear from Christopher Lugo in just a second. All right, I want to get a little bit into the Tampa Bay Lightning. They will be playing at Calgary. Are we going to fix baseball first? Aren't we? That was easy. This is an easy fix. So believe it or not, this is hard to believe. The baseball season is now being, before, we were arguing over $700,000 minimum salary or $725,000 minimum salary for these players. I mean, this is literally pennies that we're keeping baseball from being played because of pennies. You know what's interesting and should be extremely worrisome for baseball is I don't hear a huge outrage about baseball starting late. Do you? I mean, of course, there's the requisite people on Twitter.
I'm outraged.
Yeah, I know you are, but I think it's you're in the vast minority. I think people are like, yeah, whatever. Whenever y'all get ready to play, we'll come to a game.
And I hate that.
I
hate that. If this was the NFL, everybody be losing their minds.
They would be.
If we lost
that's
one
why I'm saying,
game in the NFL,
hey, baseball, wake the F up. You better wake up. So now what's holding up the season is the international draft. The players union is holding up season now because they want international players to be drafted in the same sequence that the domestic players are.
Yeah, and listen, I was following it all day yesterday because there was gaining momentum. We were going to have a deal. I saw the numbers of the CBT and all those good stuff. They were closing the gap on it. Right. And I'm thinking, okay, here we go, players. You've been pushing the owners all this time. They've come to almost a happy medium. Let's go. And now you're going to say no on the international draft. Why are we canceling games over the international draft? Why should that be a difference? And the MLB, to their credit, gave them 3 options to pick from. 3 options. And I don't think any of the options were really that bad on the MLBPA side. I really don't. And now they have this whole agreement going on where if they don't agree to something by November 15th, then is that what you're telling me? November 15th that we can drag this out to? That's the whole season.
No. What?
Yeah, that's the deadline for this international draft thing.
Well, that means they're just pushing it down the road till next season. I would hope. That means they're still going to play this season and then figure that out. That's what I think that deadline means. So they're not going to forego a whole season because of that. That's not happening. But and why not? You push it down the road. Fine. If we got everything else done, let's play baseball.
Well, here's ball. They gave them the option that they could push it down the road to 2024 and reopen talks. And the reason why the MLPA doesn't want to do that is because it wouldn't be reopening talks just on this. It would reopen. It would leave it to everything, and then we're doing this all over again.
Right.
I get it, but do y'all want to play any games? You can't have it. You can't have everything.
Right.
Everything. That goes for both sides. And we've been chewing the owners for everything. Now it's our turn to say something about the players.
Right.
In my opinion. I know everybody's saying that the owners are doing this on purpose to spin the narrative.
They are.
I mean, maybe so. Maybe I'm falling for it. I just want us to play baseball.
Well, yesterday, Steve Cohen, the brilliant Mets owner, liked the tweet that basically said, he agreed and liked the tweet that basically said that the owners don't want a deal until they get through April. They don't want to play April. We told you this like a month ago that April is the least productive or profitable month for owners. So if they don't have to pay the players, they make more money if they don't start till May. And I think that's always been their plan. That's how greedy these dudes are.
And did you hear his rebuttal, by the way, to that?
No.
He was texted by Joel Sherman, who covers the league. And he said that was an accident.
Of course, it's always an accident.
But here's the best one. $13 billion worth. Steve Cohen apparently said, I don't even know how to retweet anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's probably my favorite excuse of all now.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to retweet.
Yeah, that doesn't work, guys. You need to come up with something better. No question about it. So how do we fix this? First of all, just play ball. We're not going meet in the middle on all these damn things, and let's go. Let's play. That's very easy.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, and as far as some of the things that they've agreed on, the shifting thing is ridiculous. How you're even going to enforce that, I have no idea. The bigger bases, who really cares about that? Were we really negotiating over that? Pitch clock, I think everybody agrees on that. We need to speed up the game. It's not that hard. The universal DH, look, again, I'm not going to the mat, to see pitchers hit. Not that important to me. Fine. Universal DH, let's go. That gives you more offense. But I would like to, if they're going to make some rule changes, let's make some rule changes that get the ball in play more. I'm not here to suggest
that's not, but I don't think that's the MLB's issue. That's a coaching from somewhere. To me, it goes back to youth. It starts with the youth. I don't know what's going on, but we have gotten away from fundamentals.
Right.
And I can hoot and holler to high heaven about it, and I do often because it's really annoying.
Yeah.
Because then everybody wants to blame it on the MLB and this and that, and I don't think that's really true. But
how about if you strike out, if your team strikes out 10 times in a game, you forfeit a run?
No, there is nothing wrong.
How gimmicky is that?
Stop putting gimmicks in my sports, man.
Well, if you're not going to behave, we got to legislate you. If you're going to keep doing this stupid stuff, we got to legislate you. And, boy, I tell you what, we'd get a lot more contact in the game, wouldn't we?
Yeah, it'd be great. That's the only thing that needs to be fixed. We need more contact.
We need more so how do you do it? I mean, it's clearly we can't talk these managers or organizations into, to going out and finding the next Rod Carew, the next Wade Boggs, the next Pete Rose. They want no part of singles. To me, I appreciate that part of the game. Can you imagine? Because every team strikes out 10 times a game now.
10 times is nothing now.
Yeah.
You take 10.
But then you would have to, what would you do? You'd have to start getting players who make contact with the ball. And there would be more contact in the game if you did that. Quick fix. Done. Next. Yeah. See how we did this?
Yeah.
It's not even that hard.
Yeah.
And it's that's something that's, you don't have to draw lines on a field. You don't have to do any of that stuff. It's just, there you go. You get to that 10th strikeout. That's a run comes off the board.
I don't like that fix. I hate that fix.
How about if you have no runs? -1. You're -1.
Listen, MLB is a simple game. You throw, you hit,
but
you field.
But it's become boring and monotonous. It was already boring and monotonous, and now it's become even more so.
It's not boring.
Oh, sorry. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Christopher Lugo is going to join us from Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Fascinating man. We'll chat with him about COVID, masks, good health, better eating, exercise, all that good stuff. If you have any questions, hit us up at FanStreamJP at JP Peterson Show. Back in 3. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. The PGA Tour's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th, right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida swing. The Valspar has become one of the must-do events on the Tampa Bay sports and social calendar, so get your best tickets before they sell out. The game's biggest stars love the Copperhead course at Innisbrook. Last year, we saw Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth wow the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Chameleon Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. You've heard me talk a lot about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Well, the man behind the BAMMC.com joins us now, Christopher Lugo. Chris, how you doing, partner? Great to have you on the show.
I'm doing unbelievable. Thanks for having me on the show, JP.
Well, thank you. I want to introduce you to all of our listeners. They've heard a lot about you, heard a lot about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. We had a great lunch the other day. I really enjoyed speaking with you. As I've told our listeners, you're a fascinating man. You've done a lot of things in your career. You got great stories to tell. You work with the military and with the Florida National Guard. So let's get into it. First and foremost, and I guess my first question is just tell the folks a little bit about your background, some of your military background as well, because I find that fascinating.
Yeah, so I'm in the National Guard. I serve in a medical unit in the National Guard, so I'm a flight surgeon in there. So I take care of a lot of our flying guys out there. So we do their physicals for them on a regular basis. You can't fly unless you get what we refer to as an upslip, so they got to come see us. So we have a great relationship. And other, the other National Guard members too. We see those guys also.
That to me is fascinating in its own right, because what these pilots go through physically. One of my good friends, his son is a B-52 pilot. He was trying to become a fighter pilot, and he would send me the videos of their G-force training, which is just insane. Well, how it is? Tell me a little bit about that. Air Force pilots, fighter jet pilots, like what does their body go through in these G-force training and then actually flying the plane?
Well, they just learn maneuvers on how to react when those situations are coming awry. So it's all about the training. So we spend in the Army, I'll tell you, we spend about over $1 million training a soldier to become a pilot. Wow. So once we get you in, we don't want to let you out because we want to make sure we get that money out of you. And I say that with tongue in cheek. Yeah. Just because we make their life really easy. We try to take care of them as much as possible. We're spending a lot of money to train them up. So that's the whole goal. But it's all about training, and more training. They got to do flight hours on a consistent basis. They go to, the Army has a lot of aircraft. I think aircraft has more aircraft than the Air Force and the Navy combined, actually. Yeah. Same with boats. We have a lot more boats than other branches do also. People don't know that.
Interesting stuff. Well, tell me a little bit about Bay Area Modern Medical Center and why you guys are different. We were talking about this the other day, and I think there's a lot of people out there now after COVID, and I actually looked this up last night in writing a new spot. I think obesity level is now over 40% in the United States. And if you are considered obese, you had a 3 times better chance of being hospitalized for COVID. I mean, this is no longer about, hey, I want to get shredded, I want to look good. This is like life, literally life or death. Yeah. So, and I think that's a big
life or death. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a big part of your guys' approach. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I developed Bay Area Modern Medical Center because I've been practicing medicine for 22 years coming up now. And I played the insurance game, and everyone does when you get out of, at school. The next thing you know, you're doing the insurance game, and they're double and triple booking patients this day and age. Reimbursement's gone down with insurance. So literally when you come to the office, you're going in the office, you're waiting 45 minutes to an hour to be seen. Then you get thrown in a cold room for another 15, 20 more minutes. Then you're going to get maybe some side face time for 10 minutes if you're lucky while someone's typing in a computer and not really paying attention to everything you're saying.
Right.
And then you're going to walk out and you're going, well, I forgot to ask that question because I felt so rushed. And then you're going to get another bill in the mail a couple of weeks later. And I was like, you know what? I'm not getting to know my patients like back in the day.
Right.
So I want to slow things down. So people are new to the fee for service, but it's been around for decades at this point in time. And we used to think it was this really upper echelon thing. It's really not.
Yeah.
But when patients come see me, we're sitting talking for 45 minutes, hour and 15 minutes mostly. Wow. And it's usually them looking at their watch going, hey, do you have to go someplace to go? Because I can get you out of here. But it's usually me trying to find out more about the patient, what makes them tick, making sure that my personality, their personality is going to mesh. And I want to make sure that I can help them achieve goals. That's how BAM has kind of come about.
You nailed that, boy. That is exactly the way medicine is these days, and it's crazy. How did it get that way? I mean, you talk about the insurance game. I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand that is that the doctors don't make what they used to. It's all going to the insurance companies for the most part, and the person that gets left out is the patient, right?
they're always left out. So now it's a numbers game. So if you're paying attention here in the Tampa Bay area, you're seeing that Advent Health is buying up all these practices. Baycare is buying up all these practices. Tampa General is buying up all these practices, which now physicians are getting out, or providers are getting out of the whole business aspect. Now they're employees.
Yeah.
And in order for them to make goals, they've got to hit certain numbers. They've got to see 40, 60, 80 patients a day, depending on what specialty they're in order to keep the lights on and make ends meet to keep their staff. So my office is very lean. I only see 6 to 8 patients a day. It's only me. You walk in the door. If your appointment's at 10:15, you're seen at 10:15. If not, it's because you're late, not because of me.
Don't be late.
And you're not rushed in my office. Hey, look, let's talk. Let's hash things through. Most people have lots of questions when they come in here. Pretty casual, as you saw the other day. I don't know where our white coat and see all starchy and all uppity up. It's. I want to be nonchalant about this. I want to break things down into layman's terms so you understand exactly what's going on.
We're speaking with Chris Lugo from Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Tell me your thoughts on COVID and all the crazy stuff that we've done. I've talked about it for years now. Some of the obviously there were cures out there with hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin, part of a drug protocol that weren't certainly focused on. It was kind of an all vaccine approach. What is your take on what the medical system and what the political system did through COVID? How did we screw it up? What did we get right? What did we get wrong?
I think what it did the best is it exposed how broke our system really is. And what I mean by that is, look, you and I wouldn't be here today if our parents didn't survive the last 2 pandemics, 1958, 1968, right? Yeah. No one really knew about those pandemics before because, hey, it was a small little article on the front page of the news or maybe the third page of the newspaper, and it was briefly talked about, or someone may have known someone who got sick. Today, everybody knows about this pandemic because everyone's walking around with little computers in their pockets with cameras on them. So I think this one really did expose Big Pharma at its best. And look, I've been in this for 22 years. I got sucked into Big Pharma, and I was part of, seeing my reps on a regular basis and drinking the Kool-Aid too. Mm-hmm. This really exposed how much pharma pays for the world's economy, though. Now, our pharmacy system, the United States, because other countries don't pay what we pay for drugs because they negotiate it. We don't negotiate prices here like we should. And so when we had cheaper things around like ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, which actually do work and have been proven to work, even though some people want to poo-poo the studies, they're trying to Merck is trying to reconstitute other drugs to be better than this, and they can't. And they're charging $700 a prescription. Remdesivir, I saw that. That's $5,000 a pop when you come into the hospital, and you're going to get 5 to 10, maybe 12 days of remdesivir.
Oh my
so do the
God.
math. That's $50,000 if you get a 10-day course. And remdesivir has not proven at all to reduce mortality at all.
Crazy.
If anything, it's probably made worse. So if people aren't looking at the numbers and doing the math and seeing where the money is coming back to, then they need to be paying attention. All these insurance companies are publicly traded companies. They're all about making money. And same thing with Big Pharma.
So we have this silly notion that when we go to the hospital or go see these doctors, that our best interest is is what they're thinking about, and it's all being directed by Big Pharma. That's mind blowing. That's mind blowing to me that we have easily available cheap drugs out there that are antivirals that actually could stop COVID, and it's been proven now by many studies, and we didn't use them, and we went all in on a vaccine that really is not all that great, and certainly not what it was cracked up to be and billed as. That's mind blowing.
And if you look at the numbers from Africa, Africa's been using ivermectin for literally over 2 years at this point in time. No one talks about the African numbers for COVID, not at all. And I've actually had correspondence from ER physician, and she gave me their protocols, what they've been using there, what's been working, what's been not been working. But India, same way. We heard about the big surge in India, then all of a sudden India took a page out of the playbook of Africa, and their numbers plummeted. No one talks about Indian numbers. Mexico is one of the first countries to open up after this COVID hit, because they were using ivermectin. So it's strange. Like all of a sudden we think that in the United States that we're the smartest country in the world and no one else knows what they're doing. It's a little strange.
Well, maybe they were just less by far than we are.
Well, no, they're definitely less on by far because those countries don't pay big money for drugs. And like, you're going to charge us $700 for a prescription? Forget that. I got something that's literally pennies on the dollar that I know that's working and saving lives.
Christopher Lugo from Bay Area Modern Medical Center joining us here. What about the your thoughts on masks and all the mask mandates, especially for the kids in school? Did it do more harm than good, you think?
Psychologically, I think it did more harm. Physiologically, I don't think it did anything. Look, in the operating room, we always wear masks.
Right.
We wear masks in the operating room because when we talk, we spit. Plain and simple. So if we got someone's abdomen exposed and running their bowel, the last thing you want us to do is actually, when we're talking and communicating in the operating room to the nurses and other staff, anesthesiologists, that we're spitting in your abdomen. That's not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
But we know when we're using a bovie cautery in the operating room, we smell that burning flesh. We smell that burning tissue. That's not changing anything. Those masks, all they do is basically protect us from spitting on each other. When you're coughing, when you're sneezing, all that stuff gets exposed out. They not contain everything.
And people translate, oh, they wear masks in surgery, so that must work. It's a totally different application, obviously.
It's because of particles.
Yeah.
It's completely different. You're correct.
So in terms of keeping yourself from getting COVID, these cloth masks, these paper masks, completely useless. People are still wearing.
They don't work. They're not going to prevent you from getting COVID if you are exposed for someone else around you. Correct.
To hear a doctor say these things, I mean, do you
like scary?
Yeah, scary. Like, this is the biggest scam in history, and how many people died needlessly that could have been saved with that HCQ and ivermectin? I mean, Dr. Reese at the Yale School of Public Health said in June of 2020, if we start using this, we can save hundreds of thousands, if not millions of lives. And we didn't do it. That's not like some quack doctor out there saying it. I mean, and we still didn't do it. It's mind blowing.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct.
Man, that
some
is
of the local hospitals, when this thing first came down, some local hospitals, I won't name specific hospitals, but they didn't even want the staff wearing masks at first. Because one, they knew the infectious disease people knew that it was not going to stop the spread of a virus, for one thing. And then two, they didn't want people to wear masks because they didn't want to start spooking all the patients and all the family members inside the hospital. But soon, when Fauci started talking about masks, all of a sudden, when he denied the masks need to be used, and he started saying, "Oh no, we need to use masks," and everyone started jumping on board.
I was in a doctor's office the other day, at a dermatology office, and they made me wear a mask. The doctor was wearing a mask, and like when we got in the room, they were like, "Yeah, don't worry about it." I mean, it's complete. It's complete theater. It's COVID theater, just like DeSantis said the other day. It's complete COVID theater. It's purposeless. Yeah,
correct. And it's scary that people are just drinking the Kool-Aid too much at this point in time.
Yeah, I honestly, I see people that are so fearful of this and still wearing a mask outside by themselves, and I feel sorry for them. I'm like, man, I don't know how you got brainwashed into this, but I feel so bad for you that you can't, think for yourself, do a little research, and figure it out that is not necessary. But whatever it is. Here's a big question for you. How can we keep this from happening again? Because I just heard Bill Gates tell me about a week ago that I should still be wearing a mask, and there's another pandemic coming. And when he tells me there's another one coming, since he probably caused this one, I'm scared. That scares me when he says that. What can we do next time to be able to trust? Because nobody trusts our health officials anymore because of all this. Nobody.
This is a brave new world we're living in. It's never going to go. It's never going to change. 9/11 changed how we travel. This is definitely going to change how we interact for the rest of our lives. And the reason why is because of technology, because now everyone has their own opinion of what's going on. News gets spread a lot quicker than this one. It's a little scary when Bill Gates says that again, because he had his TED Talk, 2015, 2016, when he talks about this pandemic, right? It's a little scary when he starts talking about this stuff again.
Yeah, and how to control population with vaccines.
Hopefully, education will get us through the next one, but it's going to be tough just because of technology, and everyone's got phones that are walking computers.
Well, we had some very brave doctors, many like yourself, that in the middle of COVID stood up and said these things, and the media shouted them down, vilified them. Like doctors,
correct?
Like some of the most esteemed virologists in the world were saying this in the middle of the pandemic, and everybody shouted them down, and especially the
pharmacists,
and pharmacists of mainstream media. And that, in your opinion, was because of the pressure of these big pharma or whoever was making the money from the vaccine.
I think pressure from all around, pressure from the media, pressure from publicly traded companies. Okay, pressure from big pharma, pressure from the government, pressure from all over the place. It wasn't just not one person pushing a button, I don't think.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. All right, well, let's wrap it up by saying how can folks get in touch with you if they have a new way of taking care of their personal health? How can they get in touch with you and become a patient?
Easiest ways to go online to the website, click that button, book online. Everybody likes to do something quick and easy this day and age. That's why I put my schedule online so you can see the schedule. You can see what times work best for you, what days work best for you. You don't have to call. You can be a personal phone call. And so when I get busy in the office, I'm not answering the phone always. So easiest way, go online, BAMMC.com, click book online. You'll see the schedule. You'll sign up right then and there, and you'll see if the day and time works best for you.
All right, partner. Fascinating conversation. We really appreciate your insight into it. I think a lot of people learned a lot of things that maybe I've said, well, he's not a doctor. He didn't know what the hell he's talking about, but you do. You do. And those are the people I listen to.
I've taken care of a lot of COVID patients. So, yes, yeah. I think I know a thing or two about COVID, unfortunately.
Yeah, which Dr. Fauci has never done, taking care of a patient. All right, my
friend. He's never done. Correct.
No, and he's the expert. All right, my friend. Thank you so much. We'll be in touch. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, JP. Appreciate it.
Yeah, BAMMC.com. That's where you go. All right, quick break. When we come back, David Zimroth, Coach Z is going to join us. We're going to talk some college basketball. The SEC tournament is in town. He's going to tell us why we should care and who we should be rooting for. Homeowners, listen up. Property values have risen in the Tampa Bay area to record levels, some up to 24% in 1 year. It's time to refinance your home and pull out the equity before rates go through the roof. Call my man Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Scott believes interest rates will be over 5 very soon due to the volatile economy and inflation, but you can still lock in the mid-3s, but not for long. This means you can save tens of thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. Now, Scott is an independent broker, so he can shop your mortgage around for the best rates, and he will pay for your appraisal if you mention you heard it here on the JP Show. That's a $500 to $700 value. Scott does not charge the huge upfront fees like the big banks do. In this uncertain economy and political climate, better to have cash in hand now. So call Scott at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth,
wow the crowds, and another star-studded field is expected again this year. Sam Burns took the title and will defend again at the Copperhead. This will be a full tournament with the return of Valspar Live, our free Saturday concert featuring Chris Young and Big and Rich, and other amenities including Camellia Cove, the Hooters Owl's Nest, the Publix Chill Lounge, and other hospitality venues. Go to ValsparChampionship.com for tickets. The best premium hospitality areas will sell out, so don't wait. That's ValsparChampionship.com.
Pure sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, presented by Bay Area Modern Medical Center in the second hour. Also by the Golden Diamond Source. They've got that great collection, the Juleeve collection. That's very affordable golden jewelry. One of the 9 pieces that you won't find anywhere else. They also have the Emma Leak collection as well. Another very affordable, great stuff out there for them. Anything you want to get in the jewelry realm is at the Golden Diamond Source. Great local company. Steve and Julie Weintraub do a great job. I was at a charity event the other day where they donated a diamond ring, and that sold for about $2,000. All that money going to the charity. So they're great community partners, so always keep that money local. The Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Overton Road, just about 15 minutes from Tampa, over the bridge. Go say hi and tell them JP sent you. All right, that time of year to talk college basketball, we always go to our friend Coach Z, David Zimroth, former USF FSU assistant basketball coach. What's up, my friend? How are you?
JP, so good to be back with you today.
I know you were at the game last night, Vandy in Georgia, another place you used to coach, right? Georgia. One of your
40 years ago this year, but I have to, before we start talking hoops, real quick.
Yeah.
A former DZ Sports client, Jackson Zuber,
yes.
Suber, will be playing in the Valspar.
He was on my show yesterday.
All-American, University of Mississippi golfer. Had to throw that in there.
So he was on our show yesterday. Great young man.
The best.
Yeah.
Oh, great family.
Boy, great family. His dad's a friend of mine. Hits the ball country mile. You know, he is crushing it in the NCAA's ranked number 7 in the PGA Tour college rankings. And he's going to be playing for the first time in the PGA Tour next week at the Valspar. And you and I will be out there following him and watching him. I hope I can get you out there with him, and we'll have a good time.
His father actually called me the other day, so yeah, that'd be great. But we do a great job at DZ Sports. We take basketball kids and turn them into golfers.
Whatever it takes, bro. Hey, but seriously, you know, if you don't know, if you're a parent of a young athlete and you don't know this yet, I'll let Coach Z tell you. Whatever sport he's playing, if he becomes good at basketball, it will help him in every other sport. No question. I think basketball is one of those sports that just transfers to anything. It's hand-eye coordination, it's footwork, it's physicality. To me, basketball encompasses every balance, which, of course, golfers use more than anything. Talk a little bit about that and your training techniques.
Well, I just, you've got to be incredibly skilled to be a productive and basketball player. So you have to be able to do everything. From footwork to making shots. So you got to be able to do everything. And then it teaches you how to be obviously a very good teammate. It teaches you how to, assume a role to benefit a team. And then, lastly, teaches you how to get through adversity. And because you're not going to win every game, no different than you're not going to win every golf match. You got to deal with it. You got to try to get better after every day. You get a little better every day. So, we're thrilled for Jackson, and we're still going strong with teaching kids how to play basketball.
It's great stuff. And you've had so many kids go on to get college scholarships and win state championships. Another one of your former players at Florida State, Charlie Ward, just coached his team to a state championship.
I was there.
Yeah, I'm sure you were.
It was probably fulfilling to watch him, coach his team for 2 days and win both games and close games. And then to see him, how happy he was after that game. Charlie, as well as I do. You were up there. Charlie's not one to show, outward emotions. He keeps everything pretty tight. But the guy was so happy after they won, JP. It was unbelievable to watch. And then, unfortunately, James Collins, who also played, they played in the same backcourt. Yeah. He lost the state championship game. He'd been there 5 times. And But they've both become incredible coaches, and nothing's more rewarding to a coach that coach or recruited a kid watching them do this kind of stuff. It's really rewarding.
That's awesome, and it is a great testament to you and your coaching staff, the guys that you have produced have gone on to, that's your tree, right? And you see the lives that these guys are touching. It's a great reward, and it really is a legacy for you and all the people that you've worked with. So it's cool to see that. All right, we the SEC tournament in town, and I got to be honest with you, Z. Right. I mean, I used to call games at Florida State. Your great teams, NCAA tournament, we did it all. I can't name 10 college basketball players anymore, Coach. I'm terrible. I've just felt I don't watch the game anymore. It's not interesting to me. The players come and go. They never stick around. It's just college basketball to me has just become March Madness. That's it. And I was as big a fan as anybody. What's wrong with me? Is it me? Is it the game? What's going on?
Well. First of all, during the pandemic, with so many games canceled and people not allowed to go to games or whatever, that did not help the cause.
Great point.
In terms of interest, but it's just unbelievable to watch this year with everybody back in the arenas and the games, packed, and the interest is back. It is, but the game has changed. It's a lot different than from when you and I were involved with it. The quote unquote, I can't stand using the term, the transfer portal has become, an incredible and important tool for every college now. You're constantly re-recruiting your own players. If they're not happy, they're leaving. If they're not getting the minutes they thought they were going to get, they're leaving. If a low to mid-major player has 2 good years, they're looking to go into a Power 5 conference. It's really, really an interesting time for college sports, especially basketball. But the money that coaches make now compared to what they made in my final year 20 years ago, it's just off the charts. So, and I'm talking assistant coaches.
Right.
Head coaches are paid king's ransom. Assistant coaches now are making what head coaches used to make 20 years ago. So, the money's out there. I don't know how much I would enjoy doing that, recruiting the way they have to recruit now, sitting and looking at transfer portal all the time. But, there are certain schools that are still doing it and building from within and signing high school kids and, trying to keep them for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it's happened in football, and I'm sure it's probably worse in basketball, that now high school players aren't getting the requisite attention that they deserve, because these coaches are like, look, this is a quick fix. I can go find a kid that's been playing in, a 20-year-old over a 17-year-old that's going to come in and help me right away, right?
Yeah, but I've been asked numerous times by parents and kids, if you get offered early in basketball now and you can sign in November, you got to do it. Yeah. Because if you wait, what happens in April is, these kids that are all leaving, they become the priority. So you have a chance, if you could kids that a year or two already collegiately, and I'm not talking about kids that never gets off the bench. The transfer portal is filled with kids that are putting up good numbers and played a lot of minutes in a lot of games.
Yeah.
So, you got to jump on it when you can. And I think that's the way to go if you're a prospect. If you're a coach, I don't know how these guys, maneuver through all this all day long, including coaching your team, et cetera, and dealing with all the other stuff. But when you're making that kind of money, you find a way.
David Zimroth joining us here, former USF, FSU, Georgia coach. You watched Tom Crean last night, who had incredibly successful run, moved to Georgia, and now is probably going to be out of a job there. The SEC, boy, I tell you what, they got a hell of a coaching lineup now. It's a very, very much a powerful conference, but better than the ACC this year. I think that's pretty top to bottom. What do you see in this tournament as far as obviously Kentucky is the favorite? The Gators need a good showing. Talk me through the storylines.
Well, first of all, as usual, we both know the man. The job that Rob Higgins, Claire Lessinger, and staff have done is once again off the charts. I was down there last night, even though the games were not packed, which is normal for a first round game. It's very, very energized, a lot of enthusiasm. The arena looks great. and it should be an incredible rest of the week for everybody that still remains. In terms of the teams, you look at the top 4 teams. They're all ranked in the top 15 in the country, but Kentucky travels unbelievably. Auburn's had an incredible year. Tennessee is right there in the thick of things, and I'll tell you, Arkansas has a really good year. And you look at the lineup and coaches. You got Bruce Pearl, Coach of the Year. You got Calipari. You got Rick Barnes. You got Eric Musselman, and that's just the top 4 teams. Last night I was there to watch Georgia Vandy, and I've known the head coach of Vandy since the early teens, Jerry Stackhouse. His brother was a star player for us at Florida State. Tony Dawson had a chance to sit behind his bench, and it was just just really nice to watch how he's come such a long way to become a really good coach. I mean, I watched his team practice. I watched his team perform last night. He's an excellent coach. He's got a big-time staff. Ed Conroy, who's a former head coach at Tulane. He's got Michael Curry, who's a former head coach at Detroit Pistons and played. Just got a dynamite staff. He's got Scottie Pippen's son running the show, who can really play.
Yeah.
And for them, I'm glad they won. Georgia just wasn't good this year. They just weren't good. Worst team in the history of their program. So obviously they're looking to probably make a move, but I don't like to see anybody lose their job. But at Georgia, you can't go 6-26. You just can't.
No.
And tonight I'm going to be back there. I'm going to watch Frank Martin's an old friend of mine. He's got another former player of mine, Doug Edwards from Florida State on his staff.
Oh, cool.
We spent some time with them. Yeah, spent some time with them yesterday, and they're playing Mississippi State. So, personally, I want to see Vandy keep winning, and I want to see Frank Martin and South Carolina keep winning. You got 5 teams that are 9-9. The first 4 teams we mentioned, they're in the tournament. They're playing for seeds. Then you got 5 teams that are all 9-9 in the league, from the Gators to Texas A&M, LSU, Bama, and then South Carolina. And those guys, and they're fighting for maybe in that large bid. They're fighting for doing something special in this tournament.
Yeah.
So it comes down to, are they going to take only 4 teams? They're going to take 5 teams. The Gators, the big game today.
Yeah.
Huge game.
Huge. Got AM today, and that's at noon. What do you think? They got to win 2, 3 to get in the tournament? What do you think?
Well, some people, the experts have them on the bubble or last 4 in, last 4 out, whatever. I'll tell you, I don't know Mike White. I've never met him. Obviously, I know the I've heard of the family and watched their careers.
Right.
Mike White has always been successful in the postseason. I mean, the guy finds ways to do things. So I'm looking at them to win today, and I'm looking for them to maybe make a little bit of a run. And I think he can win 2 games. I think he'd be in. Texas A&M were 15-2 at one time, JP. 15-2.
Yeah,
they ended the season, I think, 20-12 or whatever it was. So, I don't know if they're on the bubble, but I don't know how you erase losing 8 games in a row.
Yeah.
But they need to use this tournament as a stepping stone to maybe doing something. LSU, Bama, those 2 teams were picked to be very highly ranked this year. Finish 9-9 in the SEC. It's not bad, but it's not great. And so we'll see what happens.
Good stuff. Last night, our Florida State Seminoles just got destroyed by Syracuse. I mean, there's losing. And then, Boeheim literally and figuratively punched the Noles in the stomach. And what a.
I knew you had to bring that up. Yeah. Well,
that was a bizarre thing.
Everybody's saying everybody's talking about people that don't really follow college basketball. Well, the Noles had a bad year. They lost more starters than probably any team in the country this year at a crucial point.
Yeah.
One time they were in first place in the ACC.
Yep.
Okay, and they just beat Miami back to back. So, and then all of a sudden they started getting injuries and losing kids and this and that, and they found a way. They found a way to finish the year 10-10.
Yeah.
So my hat's off to what they did.
Yep.
I didn't feel good about the draw. They're playing Syracuse in New York.
Yeah.
They're playing a team that's going to zone. They don't have a very good shooting team.
Yep.
Jim Boeheim has made runs in the postseason his whole career. It just was like the perfect storm.
Yeah.
And they look what happened. They just had one of those games where you go, my God, it was just an anomaly. They don't play like that. They don't get beat like that.
Never. They might. So I don't even know. They have an NIT or whatever they might go, but they're definitely. I
don't even think they get. I think they finished 500. I don't know if they get an NIT bid, or would they be one or two teams out of the ACC to get it. The university, in terms of our state University of Miami, I thought had a really good year. You go 14-6 in the ACC, and finish in 4th place. If you're not in the NCAA tournament with that record, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And then you got UCF, which kind of had an up and down year. They play USF tonight, and first round game, and UCF cannot afford to lose that game. They're 17-11. They're right now, regardless of what they're fighting to try and get an NIT bid.
Yeah.
They would have to win the tournament to get an NCAA tournament bid, obviously. But and USF it's had one of those years. You lose 8 or 9 kids to go to the portal. You replace them with 8 or 9 kids. It's like coaching a brand new high school team that everybody graduating. All of a sudden, you got all these kids coming to high school, and that's your team. It's a difficult situation.
Yeah, Brian Gregory, I love Brian. Is a good dude, but that whole situation is just completely untenable. I don't know how. And I saw him play Auburn at Amalie Arena early in the season. They were up about 12 points on them and maybe 6.5.
Right.
And then they kind of just couldn't score the basketball in the second half. So I was like, okay, this team has some upside, and then they just could never figure it out in the league. And it's another rough season for USF basketball, and you just wonder if they're ever going to be able to turn it around there. Z, I don't know what it's going to take.
Look, I worked there 19 years ago, and at the end of the day, it's a tough situation right now throughout all their teams. I mean, they didn't get an invite to the Power 5 conference, what UCF did.
Yep.
So, that whole league is going to change. You're now going to sell a different product.
Mm-hmm.
You're selling basically a different league. You're now competing. You got Florida State, Miami, Florida, UCF. You've got 4 distinct differences now that are, above USF in terms of conference affiliation, etc. So it's going to be a tougher recruiting situation for them, not only in basketball but football, and the whole thing is going to be somewhat interesting to follow how they're going to deal with it. And I don't know what they're going to do. You hear all kinds of things, but at the end of the day, the guy knows how to coach. He knows how to run a basketball program. He's done it before. But, no different than I told people for 35 years. There's only one thing at USF that you have to do. And it doesn't matter how good a coach you are. You have to be able to recruit. And you've got to be able to recruit really good players to compete in the league you're in. If you can't do that, it doesn't matter how good a coach you are. It doesn't matter how good your kids do in the classroom. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to be playing with better players, and that is the key. And when you have a school that's located in the state of Florida, regardless of what league you're in, you've got to mine that state. You've got to be able to get kids from Florida because they're loaded. This state's loaded with really good players at every level.
Yeah. You think they would want to go hire a guy that had a resume and bringing in some of the best recruiting classes in the history of Florida State? I don't know. Just me, bro. Just me.
I've been out so long. I don't even think about it. I
know, but looking at the names we're talking about, the guys you recruited, NBA players, they haven't never done that before or since.
In every business, the people you hire, the people that you convince to join your team or family, that's the number one thing you have to do.
Yep.
And if you can't do that, there's no way your business is not going to be successful and your team isn't going to be successful.
Yep.
So regardless of who's running the show, that's what your number one job is.
Yep.
You have to be able to get really good players, and you've got to be able to then keep them.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's relationships.
So those are the 2 keys.
And that's
it's funny.
done through relationships.
I was talking to one of the guys, in the last week or 2. One of the biggest regrets I ever had in coaching is when I recruited a kid and they transferred.
Yeah.
Nowadays, everybody transfers.
Yeah.
But in the 18 years I was a Division I coach, 5 kids transferred. I mean, you count on one hand how many kids we lost.
Wow.
And every one of those kids that left, it literally broke my heart.
Yeah.
Broke my heart. Because at the end of the day, when a kid leaves your program, you as a coach have failed in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Okay? Because it's got to be just bigger than the sport. It's got to be that you're going to that school because if something went wrong, you still love the school and want to stay there. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, 100%.
So that's how I feel about the whole business.
All right, brother. Listen, we're out of time. Always fascinating to chat with you. Let's do it again next week as we get set for the tournament, the big dance, and see what happens this weekend with the Gators. Thanks, partner. Appreciate it. DZ Sports, at DZ Sports on Twitter. That's how you get in touch with David Zimroth. Do you want some of the best training for your youngster? He's produced tons of great athletes and great kids that go on to scholarships and, better yet, go on to be great successes in life. David Zimroth, thanks so much, Z. All right, our thanks to Chris Lugo for Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Rob Higgins joined us as well. And Coach Z, you heard that. If you missed anything, download the app, FanStream Sports, or go down to our website, fanstreamsports.com. You can always get the shows there. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. It's all there for you. We'll be back tomorrow with another fantastic show. Have a great day, everybody.